How long does it take to raise your credit score? So I'm going to talk to you about strategies on how to do that. Specifically, I want to share, how do you actually check your credit report at which location, which site, and some revealing errors that are going to be out there for you. Number two, just effective strategies to boost your credit score and how long it might take. And I also want to share with you the amazing mistakes and a few stories that I've seen some of our clients do. So there's a way to do this really quick and right, and there's a way to do it, unfortunately, like a lot of other people say, and it's wrong. And really, they're just charging you big fees. So let's begin. So how do you actually check your credit score and where are the best sites? So personally, I like FICO.com. It gives you a more comprehensive average. The other one is freecreditreport.com. So go there and check it out and really thoroughly look through your history. I think you're going to be shocked at some of the errors, and worse, you're going to be irritated that some of the things that you have paid off or you fixed are still on it. And then you're going to wonder, well, how do I get rid of this? Now, it's not just as simple sometimes as calling the company that you did the payoff and they have to do the reporting. And sometimes it is, but that's where I tell you to start, is go to the person that actually put the ding on your credit or had the missed payment or the whatever it was, whether it was a car payment, a house payment, whatever kind of payment, and ask them to report in that you've actually gotten current and like you're up to date. That's your easiest, fastest way. You may have to follow that with an email or some sort of a letter or some, process. Ask them what's the process to do it. Then secondarily, you're going to actually go to the credit bureaus and you're going to report the same information. It's more powerful if it comes from the place that made the payment that actually put the ding on your report. The other thing you want to do while you're there is verify that all your information is up to date, including your address, is your phone number that they have, the email, is everything up to date in the way that they're reporting. Because a lot of times too, you're just going to have slight, gentle, not big swings down, but you'll have some if there's incongruent data, like as much as your address or your zip code's incongruent. So make sure things are congruent. Make sure you're always using a similar area code, zip code for your billing, your bills that you pay. It just has you look more aligned. And if you are looking at corporate credit, make sure your EIN numbers are right. And a lot of times it's amazing. Some of these systems will transpose your EIN number. It's happened to me, been fabulous, and actually ended up closing a bank account because someone transposed my EIN number, just a few numbers on it. And then the audit department of the bank decided, oh, well, there's an incongruency in your zip code and now your EIN. We're just going to close your bank account. So this could affect you at a very personal level on a day-to-day basis. So always make sure quarterly, just go check it, make sure it's good. But where you're also looking for those errors and where you need some correction to get your score up. Let's go on to some strategies to actually boost your credit score. What can you do? Well, first of all, you need to have really 4 to 6 cards. And I'm talking personally. Now, corporately, you don't really need that many, but personally, you do. And I'm a huge fan of American Express, Discover. You want to use the big banks. They're the big ones that are actually reporting. Where a lot of you go wrong in getting cards is you're getting retail cards. You're getting a Macy's card, you're getting a Home Depot card, you're getting a Lowe's card, you're getting, every retail enterprise has a card now. And usually it's a reward points. Well, that doesn't affect your credit, doesn't help your credit. In fact, it just shows a hard pull on your credit and actually takes it down. So keep your core cards that you want to really be reported, the 4 to 6, with big banks. Cannot encourage that enough. And then the second thing is use them all the time. Like, you don't have to use them a lot. Like the way that I teach, young adults, which is where this all got learned, is maybe 1 card's for gas, 1's for food, 1's for just personal items and, miscellaneous other home items that you might need. So identify what they're going to be used for. So you start compartmentalizing your expenses. It's easy to track to see, well, how much money did I spend, let's say on my Bank of America card, because I only use that for gas. And again, look at the points. I mean, some cards give you more points for restaurants and gas. Some points give you more for airlines and hotels. So look at your behavior and select your cards appropriately to your behavior. So you are getting the rewards from the bigger banks, from American Express. Like, I love American Express Platinum. They have some of the greatest reward structures that you can have. Discover's got great reward structures. Actually, a lot of them do. But make sure you're picking the cards to where the expenses are, and you'll have a better, just easier flow of your internal foundation into your system. When it comes to corporate cards, it depends how much money you're making and how many companies you have. But again, small business, American Express, small business Discover, small business, Citibank, a lot of the bigger banks banks have great programs for small business owners who also then can supplement with lines of credit if you needed capital. So really look thoroughly at what you're doing. And I have so much on this channel about credit cards. So go to the search bar and just look and just really understand that credit cards can be investment cards if you really do this right. Credit cards aren't used to get you in debt. They're used for investments. They're used for strategy. So the other way to increase your scores, again, is use them all, small amounts, and pay them off in 30 days. So make sure that you are paying a 30-day cycle so you keep your interest payments to zero, because I don't want large interest payments. Now, if you say, well, I just don't have that kind of money, well, that's a whole nother issue. And again, where I'm going to say is we're not going to just minimize your spending. We're going to teach you to go make some more money. Right? So down in the description is a link to come and, learn how to make money at my marketplace. So make sure you grab those millionaire tickets and come learn how to make money, because that's really the answer, is how do you make enough money that you can manage these balances? Because you don't want to just pay minimums. Minimums is where you get into high interest payments and a really long cycle. Now, when you see errors, again, you want to call the people who should have reported that you are up to date and your payments are whole and fine, but they don't. A lot of times those places won't. So you're going to have to approach them and say, okay, car dealership or, whichever you ever had your loan with on your vehicle, I'm current and I'm paid. I need you to report it to the bureaus. So you're actually then could get that cleaned up. There's a little bit of work to it. It might take a few months, but you have to stay on it. And you can hire some people to do this work for you. There are some great people, and there's some people who are going to want to restructure your debt. I'd highly encourage you not to look at them. There's an ad going right now. It always comes around tax time. It's the National Debt Relief Program. Fascinating the way they talk about their ads, because some of these people are $39,000 in debt, $49,000, and for a massive fee, but it's tucked into their new payment. They don't even know that most of those places charge between 10 to 20% to restructure your debt. So they're making a ton of money on your debt. They might reconstruct it and get you some new balances, so you have just a one simple payment instead of four. And then the joke is, oh, now that I'm out of debt, I'm going to go on a vacation. That's literally what some person said on an ad. No, you get out of debt, we're going to go build you wealth and a business, not a lifestyle. So I want you to build your assets, your business, and grow, and then get rid of all this debt and use cards appropriately and use them aggressively. The more money you move in and out of the system by making and spending, the better your credit gets. So just you being intentional about that for you and your companies is going to get you personally better credit, and it's going to get your corporations better credit. So just start making some small changes. First of all, go out and again, go to FICO.com or freecreditreport.com, see where you are. Again, at any point, you can always ask me questions at askloral.com. Ask a question, say, I need some help. I need some guidance. How do I do this? Because getting your credit right is critical for your growth, for your business, and your availability of more people willing to lend you money. So a lot of people don't pay enough attention to their personal and credit and corporate credit. I cannot tell you how critical it is. Before I tell you about what mistakes to avoid and some big ones that I've seen, I want you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And not only subscribe, click that notification button and watch the channel every day. There's something new. I want you to come to my channel every day and say, what's one thing new I could put in my life or I could learn behaviorally to change my life financially? So be a curious learner while you're here on the channel and share it with a lot of other people. It's a family channel built especially for you and your families to put your conversation of money in your life. Now, as we go into the mistakes, the biggest ones is that you pay all cards at the same time. That's my opinion. That's not what the internet's going to tell you. They're going to tell you those other mistakes. But for me, what I see is you pay bills on 1 day or 2 days a month and you pay your cards. So I'm going to give you a new structure. If you have, say, 4 cards and there's 4 weeks in a month, you want to pay this one off week 1 and then start using it again. Again, if you identify them specifically to fuel, for example, you're going to probably be buying gas throughout the week. You might be buying groceries throughout the week. You might be buying personal items or other just healthcare needs. Whatever you're assigning the cards, pay them off and continue to use. Pay them off, continue to use, pay them off. So you're always in debt, but you're cycling, and that behavior shows the systems that you're actually a better performer. You're a better business owner. You can manage cash flow. So really start shifting that immediately. The other mistakes that I see are blending your personal and your business. So identify a few cards, again, 4 to 6 personal, and use them for very specific items. And again, when you really tax strategize like the way that my life and a lot of our millionaires' lives are, you're only personally paying for about 6 to 8 things. So you do pay for them on a card, very topically, but that way you're rotating those personal cards on your personal credit. And then keep business. And if you have 3 companies, you need 3 different cards or 6 different cards, 2, 2, and 2. So you want to have more credit. The more availability you have, the more, not that you're going to spend and go in debt. That's not the principle. It's availability to cash. And that's a big mindset shift for a lot of you is, well, you only want just enough. No, you want as much as you can get for the moment that we're heading into 2024, for example. We're heading into the biggest recession. You want access to cash because when the markets go down, you want to buy back in low. When the real estate markets go down, you want to buy great deals. So if you're not in cash because you tangled this all up and you have no access to money, it's going to be too late at the moment you say you're going to want it. Other mistakes is that paying off the minimum balance is just enough. There could be nothing farther from the truth. You never want to just pay the minimums. It's going to hurt your score the most because that shows you can just barely make the payments. And then you keep spending and then it just keeps compounding. So instead of compounding interest in a positive way in an investing portfolio, you're compounding interest on a negative, what you're having to pay out. So don't just pay minimums. In my Millionaire Maker book on page 194, I actually have a pay down. It's called the Power Down of Debt. So that's how millionaires get out of debt. So make sure you grab that book and actually go through that cycle. And if you have any questions about it, let us know. We can help you through it. But changing the way you pay bills, changing the way how much you pay, which cards you pay, is a critical structure. It's what I call forecasting, not budgeting. And we'd love to help you do that. As always, if you have any questions about any of this, go to AskLoral, AskLoral.com. Ask a question, make a request, and we'll be right back here tomorrow.